Welcome guys to my little presentation on the subject of ethical guidelines. I'm going to give you a little mini recording on the subject of ethical guidelines. As you can see, hopefully you can see, hopefully there's a little thing here that I'm waving at. Obviously there's nothing really in the studio. My name is Martin Jones and I'm going to present to you on F8 Audit and Assurance. I'm not going to try and teach you the whole subject in 5 minutes, but I am going to talk to you about the subject of ethical guidelines. The ACCA have 5 ethical guidelines that they expect you as members, student members, you as members of the ACCA to follow. And these ethical guidelines tend principally to be examined in F8 in the audit subject, because auditors are supposed to follow these ethical guidelines as well. Although, to be honest with you, it's examinable right through ACCA, it does tend to end up in F8. There's 5 guidelines. You need a mnemonic. My little mnemonic that I use is Dr. Pico. P-I-C-C-O. Dr. Pico. We have professionalism, integrity, competence, confidentiality and objectivity. There you go, the mnemonic must work because I just remembered it. What am I going to do? I think I'm going to work upwards. Seems an odd thing to do, but I'll show you why in a second. Objectivity. It's a requirement of the ACCA that you remain objective when you're doing anything, but particularly when you're doing an audit. You remain objective by staying independent. Confidentiality. It's kind of a simple one, but also kind of a complex one. Confidentiality. Not the easiest of words to spell, especially when you've got a tablet that's stuttering, as mine seems to be. Confidentiality. Simple idea, as I say, but it gets a bit complicated. But the basic idea is, and this is a requirement of the ACCA, the requirement of the ACCA is you keep the client's secrets. You keep the client's secrets. In each individual country, there are what are called confidentiality overrides, which change from country to country to country to country. If your local law says you must reveal the client's secrets, then you must. But the ACCA says you must keep the client's secrets. So that's the basic rule. Keep the client's secrets. Competence is not immediately obvious to you as students. If you take your financial reporting, for example, maybe you're doing F7. Your F7 is financial reporting, and your financial reporting is bang up to date because you're studying it now. But when you come to do P2, advanced corporate reporting, your financial reporting will stay up to date and you'll be learning new things as they come through. However, once you've qualified and you become a member, there's a danger that your information on financial reporting gets older and older and older, right? Competence is all about keeping up with changes. And you do that through a process called continuing professional development, or CPD. So competence is the requirement that individual members keep themselves up with the changes that happen in their specialist area. So if your specialist area becomes financial reporting, you would be expected to keep up with new international accounting standards. If your specialist area is local value-added tax, then you would be expected to keep up with local legislation on value-added tax. So it's a specific thing. You have to be competent at what you do. If what you do is quite limited, then your competence it's not really supposed to be, but can be quite limited. But you have to be competent. That's the idea. It looks like independence, right? But it's integrity. Integrity means what it seems to mean. You have to be straightforward and honest in your dealings with other people. Not complicated. So integrity means to the ACCA what it means to you. The last one is called professionalism. And professionalism is kind of a catch-all. And the reason I've done this backwards is because if you are objective and confidential and competent and you treat people with integrity, then you're automatically professional. Do you see how that works? So if you are eco, you're automatically pico because you are professional. However, the ACCA have a kind of negative definition of this. I don't really like it, but here it is. They say that you are professional. To be professional is to avoid behaviour that brings the profession into disrepute. Do you see that? If you are professional, you avoid behaviour that brings the profession into disrepute. And there's the double negative. I don't like it. I think it should be something like this. You should always behave in a way that brings the profession into good repute. I think that would be more positive. But that's not how the ACCA phrase it. They've got this double negative. You avoid behaviour that brings the ACCA into disrepute. That's Dr. Pico. Classic question at ACCA F8 is, give me the 5 ethical guidelines as required by the ACCA. And there's the answer.